So this review is kind of late, in more ways than one. Oops. For those of you who don't know, Heretic is a horror/thriller movie about a day in the life of two Mormon girls making their rounds, sharing the word of God and their church. Their last visit of the day is at a secluded home of a dogmatic and sadistic older man who traps them within his house. It's the type of movie where I could easily understand one person genuinely loving it and another absolutely hating it. I did like it though. I do have a handful of gripes. Let's start with the good stuff. The acting was well done, and the ideas make for an insanely interesting story. I've read a few reviews from Mormons and ex-Mormons, as well as watched the Cinema Therapy Guy's review, and it seems that the general consensus is that Mormonism is well represented, and the film doesn't isolate either group or represent them in a maladroit way, and that's always a good thing. As for those ideas, I had a fun time listening to the characters explain and debate faith, capitalism, and religion. Though at times it felt like there was too much thrown at the wall. I like stuff like that. I can have an appreciation for excess even when it isn't executed perfectly, but something just felt off about this one. Maybe it needed to go through another draft. I couldn't decide if too much was said or if something else needed to be added in. It just felt a little incomplete. I did appreciate the confidence Hugh Grant's Mr. Reed expressed in each sentence he declared, only for Sisters Paxton and Barnes to go, "No, you're objectively wrong and your logic has holes." The dynamic there was interesting. There were several other things that Mr. Reed declares that are in fact wrong.
Depicts 12 gods who were born on December the 25th, all of whom predate the existence of Jesus.
And I'd love to see a list made up of what he got right and what he didn't. As for the horror/thriller aspect, I did tense up for a while until I realized the story was not going to unfold the way I believed it would. Being a young woman trapped in a man's house, that's always scary. But I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more of a game, more of the labyrinth under the house. We see about 2.5 rooms. From the miniature model Mr. Reed has in his possession, it appears there should be a lot more down there. I did not care for the aspect that the belief and disbelief doors ended up in the same room. When they go up the disbelief stairs, does that indicate their belief is wavering? That they are taking matters into their own hands and not relying on faith alone? If I recall correctly, the disbelief aspects of his game come up and down those steps. That's cool symbolism, I guess, but I was hoping for a labyrinth or a maze of some sort, different for each door. What was shown, however, did give me an excellent idea for an escape house. Like a haunted house mixed with an escape room, that would be fun. If something like that already exists, please point me in its direction. I do have this small gripe where Sister Paxton takes off her glasses when she enters Mr. Reed's house. This is just the perspective from a legally blind girl, but I was thinking the whole time, can she see? And then at the end, when the film's title card comes in, it's super blurry, and I went, is that what she was seeing the whole time? Is this a metaphor? Blind faith? Maybe she actually couldn't see well and that affected her in the story in some way. Or maybe, and probably more realistically, her vision isn't that bad and she was actually fine. Another thing was character inconsistencies. We're going to be getting into spoiler territory here, so fair warning. I had a hard time believing just how smart the girls were at times. Sometimes they seemed too smart given their actions early on, particularly Sister Paxton. Sister Paxton is incredibly intelligent, but she doesn't really come across that way in the beginning. Sister Barnes seems to pick up on the alarm bells first. It takes a bit longer for Paxton to notice something is off. That's at least how I saw it. My guess is either A, the writing is inconsistent, B, the first half of her personality was an act reflective of Mormon stereotypes and she was actually hiding a huge extent of who she was, or C, my least favorite idea and what appeared to happen in the movie, after Sister Barnes' demise, she had to adopt Sister Barnes' way of thinking, so it is a deliberate switch, but I think it was too strong of a difference to be totally spontaneous without any prior existence. Does that make sense? At all? Am I actually the dumb one? Either way, I found the contrast to be too quick and too contrast. Some of the things she said, she being Sister Paxton, I thought, wow, that's super smart and intelligent of you. I noticed the exact moment you knew something was off. And then there were other times when I wondered how she arrived at certain conclusions, albeit the correct conclusions, because they just seemed so far out there and so very convoluted. I feel like there's one big piece of this story that is barely touched on. All these women locked in cages were past religious visitors, I assume, but it's never said. Are any of them brainwashed believers? Are they like the so-called prophet who is willing to go off script and help give new potential victims a leg up? Or were they Mr. Reed's actual cultists by choice at some point? Upon seeing this, I figured Sister Paxton's fate was to be locked up to eventually perform the miracle, or was he just planning on killing her? Letting her go if she bested him? It's less clear than I would hope for. What was his end goal? What was he really hoping to achieve beyond conversion? By the end, Heretic felt unfinished. The ending was quickly put together. There wasn't enough oomph. There was one pivotal moment, once again, spoilers, when Sister Paxton is stabbed that I thought, did that just happen? Is this really how it's going to end? And several other things did happen, but that was pretty much it. The slight twist of Sister Barnes being alive felt lazy. Was she really alive? Was it divine intervention, some hallucination? Or did that really happen because it just seemed off? The movie seems so face value, but I find myself questioning things. Is that part of it? Am I supposed to be questioning things that aren't there? Maybe. Prior to getting stabbed, there is a poster Sister Paxton sees, Dante's Inferno, the layers of hell. And I really thought she was going to have to keep going all the way down, making her way through everything. I was hoping that Mr. Reed was dead, so she'd have no guide, having to confront more sadistic aims and convoluted ideas as it went on. But she literally went down one floor to where she started, and that was it. That was it. We barely got to see her escape. Just cut to her going out a window. I wanted to see how. The model is cool. I would have liked to see it more throughout the movie, but it's not a substitute for seeing the scene play out. I may watch this film again when it lands on streaming. I'm hoping now that I've decided upon its flaws, I can enjoy it more on a second watch, but I fear I may dislike it more. I do like the final messages that basically read, faith is what you believe, not what's real. Choosing to believe is what gives it power. The power isn't inherent. For religion, the power is in control. It's in influence. People have died for their faith and the faith of others. That doesn't make it worthy. But I also wonder if the message is too plain, as in obvious. It's actually spoken out loud in the movie. I would have rather Sister Paxton's guess be wrong or for Mr. Reed to forego asking so that the audience could come to that conclusion, or maybe their own conclusion, by themselves. I wonder if there's a lot more symbolism going on because I feel like everything I needed to know was flat out told to me. Is there more to this? I'd like there to be, but it just feels very surface level. There's a ton of potential here. I like the actors. Something good was stirring, but it just needed a few more drafts, I think. Either the opening should have been reworked to display Sister Paxton's astute observations and accurate mental parkour early on, or just have her be shy of fully getting Mr. Reed's plans. Ooh, okay, final thought. Something positive. Sophie Thatcher's rendition of Knockin' on Heaven's Door was so good. I was still in the theater when I had to search it up on Spotify. If you've been watching my videos, I just want to give you a special thank you. As noted at the beginning of this video, I haven't uploaded anything in nearly a year. There have been a ton of changes in my life recently, all positive, but I have had less time to create videos, and now I'm hoping to get back into it. I'm not planning on making an end-of-year review video for 2024 like I have for the last 2 years, so I'm going to try to be more consistent in mini reviews for newer movies like this one. I still have a list of ideas lined up, and I'm hoping to complete the feminism reading of Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof I promised earlier this year. I have all the pieces, I just need to edit it together. After that, I have a loose idea to rework an analytical college paper I wrote about Hugh Grant's character in Morris, but we'll see. If you've stuck around this long, make sure to leave a like and tell me your opinions on Heretic. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I'm genuinely amazed at how much this channel has grown since my last video. I think I had about 100 subscribers then, and now I have over 160. Your comments have motivated me to come back, so I very much appreciate that. For all others, this has been Editions of You, and thank you for watching.